Good morning, everyone. Welcome. 'Tis I, April. This is kind of the other side of my pocket room, so if you float and yined with me the last time we were here, we've just shifted everything around. So you'll want to have 2 blocks, a blanket, and your mat within frame. Just kidding. Anyway, today is all things spine, so we'll have some twists, some back bends, and probably a lot of lateral movement as well. Be sure to take care of yourself. If something doesn't feel right, adjust. So, let's start off in that comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you so far today. Do lift your ribs nice and high and plunge the shoulders down. Make sure you're not dumping your belly forward. Try to push it back just a little bit. We'll drop chin all the way to the chest. Closing eyes if that works for you. And just stay here for a few moments. Finding a comfortably deep breath. Try to let everything expand on your inhales and letting everything soften on the exhales. Do a wee little body scan from head to toe. Just notice if you're holding tension somewhere. Can you invite everything to settle further downward toward the mat? Let's go ahead and bring the gaze forward. Whatever your legs are doing, they can stay there. Bring your left fingertips down beside you. Extend your right arm out to the side with the palm up. As we inhale, lift the ribs. And exhale, leaning to the left. Make sure your head is looking where it's easy to breathe. I'm just going to start out with some slow and comfy movements, just so we can settle in. Let's inhale here. Exhale, pivot down to face that left leg. My right hand is coming to my knee. Yours could come to the center, but I'm twisting using my hands, and I'm going to tuck my chin. That feels good to me. Stay in this basic little fold. Inhale, pivoting forward in front of your legs. Exhale, round, coming all the way up. A breath here. Right fingertips placed down beside you. We're starting with the left arm out, palm up. Long inhale and exhale. Make sure shoulders aren't encroaching on ear space. Keep that little guy scooching down. I'm looking wherever, does not matter at all. Stay here for the breath in. Exhale, we're pivoting down, facing the right leg. Again, your left hand is coming kind of wherever. Use your hands though to help with the twist, and we'll tuck that chin. Staying folded, inhale, walk yourself to the center, round your back. Exhale, rolling up. Inhale, shoulders up and back and down they go. Tuck your chin to your chest. A few deep breaths here. forward. Let's find our first yin shape this morning. So I'm going to bring my blanket to the middle-ish of my mat. I'm going to scooch my blocks out of the way. So coming to sit on the blanket, I want enough room so that as I lie on my right side here with my right arm out in front, my hip is nicely padded. I've got my hips and my knees stacked. From here, take this left hand, place it on top of your right forearm. Now, you might need a block here as kind of an impromptu pillow, whatever works. But we're going to take a deep breath here. As we exhale, drag your left hand forward up towards your chest, taking it behind, trying to lay this left shoulder down. Now, my left hand always ends up on my waist here. If you can extend your arm to the side, super neat. But this will be our first yin shape this morning. So just settle in and breathe. Remember that as we hold for these 3 forevers, if you need to adjust or shimmy around, totally fine. Try to keep that breath on the deepish side. Let's take 5 more deep breaths together. Very gently start to roll back to your right side. Bring your knees in, curl into a little ball. Slowly, slowly press yourself back up to seated. Go ahead and plop on your blanket. Taking a few long breaths here. Let's tuck the chin. Breathe deep, deep, deep. I'm just gonna adjust to the camera because that's not super professional. Just breathe. Bring the gaze forward and let's move to the other side. So I'm going to shift my blanket down towards the right this time. And then I'm coming to sit in about the middle-ish of this blanket so that when I roll to my left side here, with my left arm out extended, I've got plenty of padding on this left hip. My knees are lined up, my hips are lined up. I'm going to take my right palm and just kind of rest it on this left forearm. A nice deep breath. Exhale, pull your hand towards your chest. Begin to drag your hand to the other side. Shimmy however you need. Try to get comfy. And let's breathe. remember, if you need to shimmy and adjust some way in or out, do it. It's all good. We just want to come back to that deepish breath. Let's take 5 more breaths together. Very gently, let's roll back onto our left side. Curl your knees in itty bitty little bone. Very slowly, begin to press yourself back up to a comfortable seat. Make sure your hips are evened out. Let's roll the shoulders back. Let your hands rest. Let's take a few breaths here. Gently bringing the gaze forward, we'll set up for our next shape. So I'm going to take my blanket out from underneath, and then I'm unfolding it once so it's longer. From the side without the fringe, I'm going to begin to roll it in on itself. If you don't have a yoga blanket, don't worry. Anything you can roll up will be just fine. I'm going to start really conservative. I've got maybe half way rolled up, so like this little pea type shape. I'm going to hold on to the baby roll. My fringe is coming up to my left side of the mat. That's where my head is going to point. When we lie back, we want our little bitty blanket roll to come to the middle of the ribs. This is absolutely the easiest way to measure it. Find the part in front of your ribs that sticks out the furthest. Trace that line behind. That's going to be the middle reference. So I'm going to face away from the fringe. I'm going to hold on to my little bitty roll for some support. I'm coming on back, finding that middle point. Back so the shoulders, right where that tattoo is coming to rest above. You can bring hands to ribs, to cactus, to T, whatever works for you. If you're not getting the back bend you'd like, before you try re-rolling, try placing your legs in a different configuration. And if that doesn't work, just come up and roll it a little bit more. Either way, let's all make our way into our little bitty supported back bend. Legs in any shape you like, arms pointing wherever. But let's breathe. Remember, we want to keep that breath on the deepish side. It's on the exhales that bodies relax. So if all else fails, lengthen that breath out and really settle in. Let's take 5 more breaths together. Whatever your legs are doing, bending into your knees, bottoms of the feet to your mat, knees are up to the ceiling. Very gently roll to one side, press yourself up to that comfortable seat. Just even everything out. Take a few moments, lengthen your spine, let the shoulders drop, and let's tuck chin to chest. Stay here for a moment. Bring the gaze forward and we'll set up for our next shape. I'm just going to roll my blanket out of the way. I'm going to grab onto one of my blocks. So we'll stay sitting up for this one. And this is a little bit more of the yangish type. We'll have to stay a little more engaged. So I'm rolling to my right hip and I'm bending both of my knees. I'm going to take my left thigh on top of my right ankle. My left butt cheek is absolutely lifted. That's all right. I'm sitting nice and tall. From here, I'm going to bring my block kind of outside this right hip region. Sitting tall again. You know what? I'm going to untuck that. It's not at all comfortable. Feel free if you need to as well. Deep breath in, sit tall. Begin to turn to the right. Left hand can come to your leg or to the block, but we want to stay upright. Pulling gently into that right leg. I'm going to go ahead and tuck my chin and breathe deep. Make sure you keep pressing your shoulders down. More breaths. From here, I'm going to move that block out of my way. I'm going to roll to my right. I'm untucking my legs. And then I'm going to bring bottoms of my feet together, knees flopping to the sides for a diamond shape. Go ahead and bring your heels in as close as you like. A breath here. One more inhale. And come as far forward as you like. Remember to take your time. Remember not to force. As we're holding, if it feels like you can come a little further, cool. If not, cool. As slowly as you can, inhale and round, walking your way upright. Exhale, down go the shoulders. Holding legs if you need. Rock your shoulders back. Close eyes a few breaths. As we prepare for the other side, I'm going to move my block over to my left. From here, I'm going to scooch my feet away, rolling to my left, bending into my knees, and I've learned my lesson this time. My left foot is coming against my right leg right here. So I'm going to start out with my left hand on the block. Nice deep inhale for length. And then turn to your left. We are gently pulling ourselves a little bit. I'm turning from my ribs. My belly button is not going anywhere. And I'm sitting nice and tall. I'm breathing as deeply as I can here. Make sure the shoulders aren't encroaching on ear space. Press them down. Two more deep breaths. Unwind. I'm coming back a little, moving my block. I'm again rolling to my left hip. I'm coming back to diamond-shaped legs. Wiggle everything out. I'm going to sit nice and tall. A breath here. Long inhale. And down we go. Again, if you want to scooch a little further, feel free. If you need to come back a bit, nice. Round your back, inhale, rolling upright, and down go those shoulders. Tuck your chin all the way down, sitting tall. Breathe deeply. Let's bring the gaze forward and set up for our next shape. We're going to be in a child's pose for kind of a longish time. So if you'd like to bring your blanket under your knees, this is a pretty good choice. So I moved to the right side of my mat. I've got my knees wide on the blanket, at least mat distance. My toes are going to come together and touch in a little bitty point. So we'll walk ourselves down. You don't have to really plane out here. We can stay pretty close, but for a moment, press into your forearms, spread your fingers, and press down into your hands. A few deep breaths. From here, a nice big inhale. And we'll walk our hands over to, I think this is your left. Once you're feeling a little crunch on the right side, a big stretch on the other, try to walk one hand further in front. Your hip that's not facing the camera is pressing down into the mat. We're looking for a big old stretch here. And just breathe. You want a comfortable intensity. So if you find that you need to move your knees further apart or more close, cool. Five more deep breaths. Very slowly, let's inch our way back to center. From here, bring your knees right next to each other. Bring your palms down. Let's just round the spine a little bit. If you'd like to lift your hips, kind of a wee little rabbit. Super neat. Let's go ahead and roll back, seated on the heels. Just for a moment, sitting nice and tall. If sitting on your heels is hideous, do what you need. We're only here for about 3 breaths. Let's set up for the other side. So my knees are again nice and wide. I'm going to walk myself forward. Very first, I want to find that activity. So I'm pressing my elbows, my fingers are spread, and I'm pressing my forearms down. Just a couple breaths. Good. And let's begin to walk ourselves to the other side. So I'm really reaching reaching that front hand away. I'm rolling this hip down and breathing deeply. Really rolling the hip away from your fingertips. Three more breaths. Very gently, we're walking back to center. I'm scooching my knees right next to each other. My palms are down. I'm going to find a wee little bitty rabbit. Lowering hips. I'm going to plop myself to the middle of my mat and blankets. Any comfortable seat that works for you. Do sit nice and tall. Do roll your shoulders. Just breathe with me, please. Bringing the gaze forward. Let's set up for the next part. So I'm going to scooch myself off of my blanket. I'm folding in half once, and I'm folding in half once more so we get this long, skinny rectangle. Long, skinny rectangle, I'm putting it towards the left end of my mat. It's about in the middle. It's the same direction as the long edge of my mat. So we all remember, I hope, where the middle of the ribs are. That's what's coming to this end of the blanket. I want you to feel like you're spilling off of this blanket for our very gentle back bend. So my torso is probably a different length than yours. It might take a couple tries. There we go. So I want the backs of my shoulders to open up and plant down comfortably on the mat behind me. I'm really taking from shoulder to elbows wide. So if that's a T, if that's goddess, awesome. If we have some low back tenderness, I recommend bent knees. If that's not an issue, we can extend the legs all the way down, getting a little gentle, lengthening back bend here. Let's and breathe. Long, comfortable breaths. Remember, if you need to shimmy or move, it's all right. Five more breaths together. Wherever your legs are, bending into knees, bottoms of the feet coming to the mat. Roll to one side or the other, all the way off your blanket, curling again into a wee little ball. From here, I'm just going to move my blanket out of the way, and I'm rolling back onto my mat. So make sure you adjust your shirt. Arms can come wide, maybe to a T, maybe to goddess, or maybe you'd rather have them on tummy or ribs. Walk your feet mat distance at least. We want them to stay wide here. We'll take a deep breath. And exhale, dropping knees to your left. My right hip is lifting. This is a good thing. You can turn your head away from your knees, or you don't have to. If you'd like a little more, your left foot crosses on top of your right knee, but we're not forcing. It's very passive. We're just letting gravity help open things up a little bit more. And breathe. Two more deep breaths. Gently uncrossing. If you did, we're bringing both knees back up. Be sure to line up hips and sacrum. You can take little windshield wipers, or maybe we'd rather have knees into chest. Just take some gentle movement here. Arriving back at neutral, bottoms of the feet come to the mat. Feet are mat distance wide at least. Arms in any shape that works. Do take a deep breath. And knees to the other side. So my left hip is again lifting. It's all right. If you'd like to take the cross, neat. Some days the cross doesn't work on both sides. My favorite thing to remind people. If you take the cross on one side and not the other, it means you take the cross on one side and not the other. Doesn't mean a thing. Do breathe. did so. Very gently, let's bring knees back up. Shimmy everything out. Maybe windshield wipers, maybe knees into chest, any kind of gentle movement here. Riding back on our backs, bring the bottoms of your feet down to the mat. Finding diamond-shaped legs, bottoms of the feet touch, knees are flopping to the sides. Hands coming to rest on tummy, or if you'd like, tummy and heart. Make sure your chin is not higher than your forehead. Let it come down. And breathe deeply here for a few huge rounds of breath. Let's make our way into our shapes for final relaxation. Whatever that looks like for you. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you roll to a side, over to your tummy. Maybe you'd like to sit in a seat of meditation or not. Find something that works for you. And once you find your way into this shape, for our last moments of stillness, begin to let go. From the crown of the head to the soles of the feet. Release muscles of the face. Eyes are soft and snuggle back in their little beds. Teeth have separated. Perhaps the lips will part. Root of the tongue and throat are soft. Chest, shoulders, arms and hands become light. A deep breath enters the belly, and exhaling, the navel falls to the spine. Hips, legs, knees, and feet release into the earth. So comfortable, so at ease, and very, very safe here in Shavasana. ever so slowly and ever so gently. Begin bringing your awareness back to your bodies. Let the breath deepen. Let it fill your entire being. Small movement creeps in, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, circling wrists, and circling ankles. Reach your hands high overhead and stretch from fingertips to toe tips. Roll over to your right side. Find the shape of safe little ball for just a few more moments. Om Bhurva Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om Bhurva Svaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Keeping eyes closed as much as you can, gently press your way up to a comfortable seat. Hands coming to rest lightly. Sitting tall, shoulders line up over hips. Eyes and face still soft. Receive a deep inhale. And let go. Thank you, my darlings, for joining me. I'm always, always honored by those who come and share this time for a little bit of healing in a little bit of yin. That chant, the Gayatri mantra, promises us that as we remember that we are beings of light, our minds will be inspired to take the right action at the right time. You are that light of a distant star. It's not to become. You already are. Until we meet again. Namaste. Thank you, sweet souls. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. I'm so happy you came. I miss you. I love you. I can't wait until our next time together. Be safe. Be loved.